Hey there, and welcome to Mila Political. Today I'm going to be bringing you my top 5 anarchist principles. No, not those kinds of principles. I'm talking about the philosophical concepts. Are you telling us you're an anarchist? I prefer to consider anarchism as having values that fit me rather than me fitting into the values of anarchism. Because it's a political ideology and not a cult. I also don't limit myself just to anarchist philosophies and beliefs. I also really like socialist beliefs and communist beliefs. I think they're great. Seize the means of production. Today, I'm going to be ranking my top 5 core principles of anarchism based on Morpheus's Basic Principles of Anarchism. You can find the link to that below, unless YouTube doesn't allow me to cite the Anarchist library, in which case you can look that up there yourself as well. Again, these are basic principles of anarchism. Anarchism isn't just one philosophical school of thought, it's numerous schools of thought, all based around similar principles. So those are the principles I'm going to be ranking here today. Morpheus gives us 7 principles, basic principles of anarchism. I'm going to be focusing just on my top 5 today. Thanks. Number 5 is free association. That's the ability to associate with people as you wish. You shouldn't be forced to associate with me as a person if you don't like me. But if you do like me, you could associate with me by hitting the like button and the subscribe button. And if you have money, also checking out my Patreon. Basically, you shouldn't be forced into agreements like we are in our modern day, where we're forced to get a job to make a wage to pay for our basic needs. Or we are forced to associate with cops who want to enforce laws that we didn't agree to when we were born. Phooey. And yeah, some of the laws are good. I know. I'm not saying rules are bad. Rules aren't bad. I just don't like that the state has a monopoly on violence that allows them to enforce those rules with the threat of, imprisonment or death. I think that's pretty bunk. Pretty boo. Number 4 is self-management. Self-management suggests that we should all have an equal say in decision making that, might have an impact on ourselves. So if a decision is being made, self-management suggests that there should not be an individual or a small group of individuals who might make a decision that will impact my own choices and the way I manage my own life, but rather I should also be involved in that decision process so that everyone has a say in the rules that we produce. And there it is again. Anarchism isn't about no rules. Some people might say laws are bad, but it's not about no rules. It's about all of us having an equal say in what rules are governing us. Obviously, that doesn't mean I get to do whatever I want. I'm making those decisions communally with other people. So, self-management isn't about not having community. It's not about being so individualistic that I only make choices for myself and no one else matters, right? It's about just having an equal say. It's about real democracy. It's about direct democracy. Number 3, radical egalitarianism. Radical egalitarianism suggests that we should be building a world where we are equal, but not identical. Unlike what many right-wingers will tell you about anarchists and socialists, where they like to say that we're all about making us all the same and being put into bread lines. Number 2, and this one's going to shock you, My number 2 is anti-authoritarianism. Anti-authoritarianism is one of the biggest principles of anarchism. It permeates every every discussion of anarchism. Every anarchist thought is just all about trying to dismantle unjust hierarchies. Some anarchists want to dismantle every hierarchy at all, like all of them. Others will discern a little bit and they'll be like, well, let's first tackle the unjust ones. It's basically the abolition of hierarchies, right? So I shouldn't be above you as a person. I shouldn't be valued more than you. No matter what I do, we can't really measure each other against each other. The world is far too dynamic to discern whether the impact of an artist's paintings are somehow less or greater than the impact of, a farmer's food. We're complex, nuanced animals that need both entertainment and community as well as our nourishing, nutritious foods, right? They're both really important. And so in under anarchy, we look at that and we say, yeah, there's no way to discern who is better or even more equipped to decide the futures of individuals and communities. We should all be working together in a truly direct democratic system to decide collectively our futures and ensure that all of us remain autonomous individuals and autonomous communities.
Good job, I guess.
So that's my number 2, which many people might find surprising that that's not my number 1. But it's just because my number 1 is a little more practical to our modern day situation. Might not see an end to hierarchies in my lifetime. That's okay. I would be surprised if we did. But maybe in future generations. But for me right now, my number 1 basic principle of anarchism is mutual aid. Peter Kropotkin wrote about mutual aid in his book, Mutual Aid, A Factor of Evolution. And it was not really competing, but it sort of evolved in tandem with Darwinism. And mutual aid suggests that are natural cooperative factors to nature, where people can voluntarily exchange goods and services. But even out in the wild, where you see wolf packs where the wolves cooperate to ensure each other's safety and security. You see these fish that clean the gills of sharks. You see little birds that help pick mites and things off of hippopotami, right? These instances of communal giving and support that are natural. They're just part of the ecosystem. There's no expectation of something back. The shark can't ensure that their gills will have enough food for those fish, but there happens to be some there. And the fish come in and they have a nice meal, and that ultimately helps the shark too, right? So it's this idea that we can build these spaces as humans. Mutual aid has to do with building this collective care and creating this space to ensure that we can thrive and our basic needs are met and our essential needs in the context of our specific communities and our specific time are met, right? So mutual aid is my number 1 basic principle of anarchism. And thanks for watching. Thank you to my patrons, Justine and the Blue Druid. Thank you to you, my viewers. I really appreciate everyone who just watches my videos. I think that's really great. You don't have to subscribe to my Patreon to support me. You can just like and subscribe to my YouTube channel or just watch my videos through. So that's sort of my list today. And I might do one if people really like this one. I might do a top 5 principles of communist philosophy if people want that. I hope you like my red and black shirt because anarchism. It's on the nose. A better world is possible, Thank you for watching. This is Mila Political.